In the archives of Japanese animation, there's a wrecking crew so infamous that in certain social circles they're simply referred to as the Doyens of Destruction. The Paganinis of Feudalism. The Champagan of Chaos. Hang on a second.
Champagne.
Champagan. Sweet, nailed it. To mention one without the other would be sacrilege. I'm talking about the enduring charm of the one and only Lupin III. Spanning over half a century of films, TV shows and one-off specials, the Gang of Four has survived long enough to even see themselves blatantly ripped off. Homaged in other anime. One of the most notable things about the series that still feels fresh today is the amount of detail put into drawing the various guns, cars, bikes, and mechanical gadgets. Out of all the vehicles featured throughout the franchise, the one unanimously connected to Lupin is the masculine 1957 Fiat 500. A rear-engine, two-door palace that can generate a coma-inducing 13 horsepower. At 275mm wide, it's almost the same size as your pet mouse, which makes sense for getting through tight spaces and driving up mountains. The Fiat made its debut in the widely regarded Castle of Cagliostro from 1979, and still pops up even now, with the current crop of iterations. In recent times, the franchise has flirted with more, how can I put this, delicate four-bangers, such as a 1750 Alfa Romero with its effeminate-sounding twin-cam engine. Ferruccio's 72 Lamborghini Diorama with its modest 50-50 weight ratio for jumping stuff. And of course, who could forget the 71 Maserati Bora with its limp-wristed, front-mounted, NATO-sanctioned minigun. That type of artillery has nothing on the pushing power of Jigen and his manually chambered Smith & Wesson Model 19. Or his ability to kneel like a thirsty altar boy behind a high-powered rifle. It's rumoured his expertise in all manner of firearms comes from his passion for the Old Testament, Book of Clinton, verse 3:15.
I know what you're thinking, punk. You're thinking, did he fire 6 shots or only 5? But being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and will blow your head clean off, you've got to ask yourself the question, do I feel lucky?
That's cutting-edge stuff. Surprisingly, there is nary a rice burner in sight. It is a term of endearment used to describe an automobile of Asian descent that is both easily modifiable and cheap to purchase. Its namesake heralds from the common round-eye belief that they really could run on rice. Fortunately, the Lupin series has stuck to its bourgeois roots and avoided such obvious racial cliches by choosing to predominantly feature Anglo-Saxon chariots of the finest calibre. Goemon, a modern-day samurai, dressed in a traditional hakama, is my favourite character in the series. He possesses unlimited skills in swordsmanship, as well as being a master in the arts of martial. Get it? Like 90 to 95% of the steel being exported out of Japan, his blade has the innate ability to cut through any substance known to man. Handguns, large trucks, and even small skyscrapers. He also does his best to maintain strict allegiance to Japanese culture while travelling abroad. Goemon would rather fast than eat any Western cuisine. He'll politely toast his cohorts with French bubbles, but then proceed to quietly sip sake. I'm surprised he hasn't been used as a mascot by the Japanese Tourism Board. His ethos and personality are truly holding a mirror up to multicultural societies. The rest of the crew follow suit with their thin but charming personalities. Lupin is a gentleman thief and master of disguise. He's always thorough in researching whatever heist he's planning to pull off, and he values the thrill of the steal more than the prized treasures. Fujiko rounds out the pack, who besides having a Bond girl presence, has an interesting quirk of working with Lupin and company, before double-crossing everyone once the spoils of war become available. But for every hero, you need an even greater foil. Meet Inspector Zenigata. Chief of Interpol, who has made it his life's mission to hunt down Lupin. The show gets some great physical comedy out of him and his police cohorts. Occasionally, when Lupin appears to be dead, he will mourn far more emotionally than the other characters because he no longer has a goal in life, which, by extrapolation, means he just wants to excel at his job. He represents corporations and institutions, and their attitudes towards a salaryman working for the state. Lupin, on the other hand, doesn't have a job. Stealing loads of dirty shit is his way of sticking it to the man. He doesn't answer to anyone, he's completely free, which is why Zenigata makes the perfect counterpoint to our protagonist. Most of the classics in the Lupin canon are pre-2000. So what I'm getting at is if you're one of these characters that refuses to watch a movie from 15 years ago because you're easily alienated by furniture that you often sit on in your grandparents' house, or you scratch your head because a bloke is putting hard currency into a payphone, which isn't relevant anymore, then I'd highly recommend Blood Spray of Goemon Ishikawa from 2017 as a starting point. Hawk, the bad guy, is a lumberjack who moonlights as an assassin. His weapon of choice, get this, is not one, but two axe hatchets. I'm a little bit shocked this hasn't been capitalised on before. A lone samurai versus a solitary woodchopper is a perfect example of the yin and yang paradigm. While they initially appear to be two opposing forces, in reality they are complementary in terms of archetype. This film also gets my vote for one of the most dynamic entrances a villain can have. Genius. At a breezy 53 minutes, it's difficult for even people with a short attention span to complain. For an additional selling point, there's also an excellent 1 versus 50 man brawl in there. However, if you're the type of boy or girl who develops a painful bowel movement once the claret starts flying, then Lupin the First is the ticket for you. It has all the Disney-esque vibes you'd expect for an all-ages event. Rooftop ballet, polite flirting, and a derivative Indiana Jones style plot. For the rest of you prepared to watch something a little older and a bit more mature, I have a list in the description below. Make sure you like, subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching.